Hi, Mrs. Houston's class. You cannot see me currently because I have my iPad set up in this nice little pedestal. But this is Mrs. Knips. And some of you, if you were in volleyball, you know who I am. And I am going to give you a little tutorial today on how to draw portraits because Mrs. Houston asked me if I can help you. So, a couple of things that I want to tell you about before you get started. First of all, do not worry if it looks like a specific person. It doesn't have to look like anyone specific. It's just going to be a picture of anybody, any person. You could be a boy drawing a girl. You could be a girl drawing a boy. It doesn't really make any difference because we are working on facial proportions. So don't worry about whether it looks like someone that you know or not. My advice is to not have anybody in mind when you're making this. Second thing to remember is that this is probably the first time that you've made a realistic portrait. So don't be too hard on yourself. Third thing to remember is that you want to draw light when you're first starting out because you can always come back and make it darker if you think you have things in place. But start by drawing everything really light. So here is my paper, and I'm just using a normal pencil. I'll use a normal pencil the whole time through. And we want to make your face shape about the size of your hand. My hand's a little bit bigger, but we're trying to make just a portrait. So you want like your face to be in the upper half to 2/3 of your paper. And your face shape does not have to be perfect to begin with because I erase mine every time. So you could even start by drawing an oval. That would be fine too. But don't forget to draw light. Mrs. Houston, you'll have to pause this video if they need more time in between each part that they're drawing. If you're really concerned about drawing a face shape, I like to make like a dome at the top, and then you could make like a line for where your chin is going to go, and then it kind of angles up into the top of your face. But like I said, don't worry about your face shape as I'm erasing mine. Don't worry about your face shape because we will come back and fix it later. So once you have some type of an oval shape down, we are going to make like a plus sign going straight through it. So make a line really lightly because this will get erased. A line straight down the middle and then a line directly in the middle of your face. Most people, this is the line that your eyes are going to go on. Most people think that their eyes are further up in their head, but that's not true. So Mrs. Houston can model for you. If you put your hand on the bottom of your chin and on the top of your head, it's like here and here, your eyes actually sit in the middle of your head. They're in the, they are in the upper portion of your face, but they are in the lower part, or the middle of your head. So if you're only looking at your face, they're probably in the upper portion of your face, but they're in the middle of your whole head because we'll put hair up here too. Okay, so to start with your eyes, I like the line as a guide, and I know that this is the middle. I put 4 dots and I try to evenly space them so that I know that my eyes are going to be about the same size. So, I don't know, like an inch between here, I would put a dot maybe. And don't make these dots really dark because, again, you'll have big dots on the end of your eyes otherwise. So you can even take your pencil to measure. Okay, that's one eye. That's the second eye. Okay, they look pretty close. So there's my 4 dots. Your eye is like an almond shape or a lemon shape or a football shape, however you want to think of it, but you want your pencil to go up, connect the dots, and come down, connect the dots, up, down. They look pretty close. This one's a little bit shorter. Interesting fact, you can take even the most beautiful supermodel and take a picture of them and like cut their hat or the picture of their face in half and flip it, and it's still not symmetrical. So if your eyes don't match, it's not the worst thing in the world, because most of the time faces are not symmetrical. Fun fact for you. Okay, close enough. So you have your two eyes. Inside your eyes, if you are looking directly at a person, the pupil, no, not the pupil, the iris, the colored part of your eye is like a full circle. So you can erase your line through here if you want. Actually, you can probably erase it the whole way. It's a full circle, but the upper part of the iris is underneath your eyelid. So when you draw this, you almost want to draw it as if you're drawing the circle above this line. Sorry, move my paper around. This is the first time I've done this, guys, so you should feel special. All right, so then the bottom part of your eye, you can always see this bottom round curve of your iris. Don't make it look like a cat and draw oval eyes. That would be bad. Okay, so you can see the bottom curve, the top curve goes underneath the eyelid. If you also want to put a little tear duct in here, it's just kind of a little curved line there. And then we will also put the eyelid on. So you put just one line that connects in the middle, and it's like an arc over top of your eye. Okay, Mrs. Huskin, remember to pause it if people need help or if they need more time. Okay, so now you're going to put the pupil in there. Don't make your pupil just a tiny little dot, or it's going to look like you just looked into a flashlight. You can make it like a, I don't know, a bigger circle. So there's my eyes. I can color this in all the way dark because your pupil is dark. If you want to leave like somewhere, you could leave a glare in your eye. You could leave a glare in your pupil if you wanted to, or you can leave a little spot open for like a glare somewhere in your iris. And you can also shade these in like with a medium gray if you want, so that your eyes don't look really creepy. So what I like to do with that is I like to like make it a little bit darker on the outside and then gradually get lighter when I go to the inside. I'm going to leave the pupil. I think I'm going to leave the glare out. You can leave the glare in if you want. I already kind of covered it. Okay. And then do your next one. Okay, the other thing about eyes is like usually you have flicks of color in your eyes or like some type of a pattern in there. So I always like to make like a little starbursty looking shape or like lines around the outside. And if you have to go back in and make your pupil even darker, you can. Okay, so there's my eyes. Okay, now the magic of eyebrows is that even, you can ask any girl, eyebrows don't match. So start by drawing like a line, just like a line, a skinny little line, and drawing like the shape or the roundness that you want your eyebrows to be in. Boys, you can make them bushier if you're trying to draw a boy. They usually have thicker eyebrows. Girls, you can shape them if you want, but just start with a line, and then your eyebrows are made up of small hairs, so then go back in and start making like little hairs to go following to go in the same direction that your line is going. Okay. If they're not perfect, it's exactly like it is in real life. This one's a little higher. Okay, good enough. Okay, then eyelashes. Boys may think they don't have eyelashes, but you can go look at my brothers or my nephews, and I'll tell you that they have some of the longest eyelashes ever. But if you do not want to make them super dark or super long, you don't have to. You could make them straight. You don't have to make them curvy if you're trying to draw a boy. So I'm just going to, I like making long eyelashes because I'm a girl and I have long eyelashes. Even though I just told you boys could have long, curvy eyelashes too. Okay, so when you draw them, it's like you start drawing the line and they curve up towards the outside of the face. So this eye is going to curve up this way. This eye is going to curve up this way. And then the bottom ones are just short, just curved lines. Okay? Okay, so there's our eyes. I can already tell that my eyes are really big and I'm going to run out of room down here. So I'm going to have to erase my face shape eventually. Okay, Mrs. Houston, you can model. The corners of your eyes match up with the end of your nose. So it's almost like you could draw a line coming down here, and we're going to draw parentheses just like we do in math class. Parenthesis, parenthesis. There's my two parentheses. Okay, and then your nose has like the bottom of your nose is like a rounded shape. So there's the bottom of your nose. It's starting to come together, but now you have to put the nostrils in. So it comes up and then down a little. Up, down. Don't worry about the bridge of your nose yet. We'll get to that point. But you can shade in like just a little bit where your nostrils are, just the shadow under your nose. Okay, just like that a little bit. And I'm trying to keep it kind of centered with my line, as long as it matches up with my eyes. You know, all of that could change later. And then finally you're going to do your mouth. So you're going to come right from the middle of your nose, and where that little, I call that the drain pipe thing, you're going to make like a V right under your nose. Okay, and then Mrs. Houston can model again. The middle of your eyes, if you're not smiling, the middle of your eyes matches the corners of your mouth. So I know that my mouth, I'm going to erase my chin because I don't need it there anyhow yet. I know that my mouth is going to come out to about here. I can just give myself a little dot for a guide. You do not have to draw juicy full lips. You can draw them flat, you can draw them curved up at the end, you can draw them tilted down. All lips are different, but I would start by drawing the V in there and then making it like a bird. You'll know what I mean when I'm done. So like the birds you used to draw in second grade, you know, when you would draw a bird on your paper. Whee! Okay. And then the bottom of your lips is just like a straight, not a straight line, like a curved line kind of. Okay. And then you could put your line in the middle of your lips. Okay, my lips look large, but that's okay. All right, now you can erase this middle line. You don't need that anymore. Okay, I'm going to show you why face shape doesn't matter right away. If your face looks like this, you should change your face shape and give yourself more of a chin, probably. Your chin is really long there. If your face shape, if you have like a ton of extra space out here on the sides of your eyes, you should change that. Okay. If your face shape comes down here like this and you look like you don't have a chin, you should also change that. That's usually what mine end up looking like for some reason. I always draw my face shape a little too small. Okay, so let me give you a guide for what you can do to help you out with your face shape. So I have my nose, I have my mouth. I'm gonna go a little bit under my mouth and draw like where my chin would be. So there's my chin. When my mouth starts angling up, my chin can probably start angling up. And if you want to put a sweet jawline on your guy or your girl, go ahead. You can draw like a and then make it go up. So you could do like a jawline like that. You could make somebody like show more of like cheeks or cheekbones and make it curve up a little bit like this. However you want to draw it, every face shape is different, okay? I'll just leave it like that. So then we are going to do like neck and shoulders. So it's almost like you're drawing a tree trunk. That sounds dumb, but like the outside, you want to make sure your neck is about even with your outside of your eyes out here. You don't want to draw just this dinky little bobblehead person. Okay, so there's my neck. I make my shoulders come down. Shoulders. Make sure that your shoulders are wider than your face. Otherwise it's gonna be super unrealistic. There's my neck. You can worry about what kind of clothes you want to decorate later. And then if you are going to put ears on your person, your ears match up to your eyes. And we're just going to draw an oval from like your eyes to your nose, like that distance. We're not going to get into like drawing your ears all professionally. Okay, it's a good start on a person. Now we got to talk about hair. If you are going to do boy hair, your hair, like your sideburns or whatever, your hair starts above your ears. So I don't know what kind of hairstyle anybody has, but your hair starts above your ears and your hair comes forward from the front. Okay? I don't know if anybody's got some sweet shag going on. You could like make some shaggy hair coming out here. And make sure that you don't just follow that line. If that line's really dark, you can even erase it. But your hair is all in little pieces, so it's like it doesn't sit just perfectly. Okay, that's just a really light guideline of what your hair could look like. Now I'm gonna erase it and I'm gonna draw girl hair. And obviously that's not the only boy hair you can draw, but just make sure you're not just putting it at the top of your forehead or at the top of that line, because it's gonna look like you have a mohawk or it's gonna look like you have a really bad receding hairline. So your hair needs to come forward. All right, girls. For me, if you have bangs, you can make your hair come forward again. For me, I like to pick a side where my part is gonna go. So I'm gonna say there's the part in my hair, and I'm gonna draw like a slanty line that goes down towards this ear, and I'm gonna draw a slanty line that goes towards this ear. And I know I went over top of my eyebrow. You don't have to. You could make your part higher. And then I draw from here down and down. Okay, now obviously, like I said before, your hair is all little pieces, so it's not just one perfect outline. Okay. If you want wavy hair, you can put like a little bit of wave in your hair. If you want curly hair, just be sporadic with your hair. Like, let me show you an example. I know that there's a drawing back here. You can ignore it. I borrowed a paper. Okay, so face shape, eyes, nose, mouth. Okay. You can draw your wavy hair, like, just be sporadic with it. Your waves are not all the same. Hair never sits perfectly. I don't know if that makes sense. And if you have really curly hair, you can be sporadic with really curly hair too. Just don't make all of your curls go over the same line like that. Same line. It doesn't look really realistic. And curly hair is usually more wild, so you can put like more hair that goes out of just an outline, if that makes sense. Okay, so back to this. Let me finish putting in a few strands of hair here. Girls, if you have long hair, you can decide if it's going to go in front of your shoulders or behind. Okay, and then we can talk about shading, but I'll do this on a separate video. So this is the structure for drawing an outline of a face. Corners of noses should match up with corners of eyes. Corners of mouth, as long as you're not smiling, corners of mouths should match up with the middle of the eyes. Okay. And oh, here's another quick measuring tool for you. From the bottom of your chin to your eyes should be the same distance as your eyes to the top of your hair. That means you have enough hair written down. That's a good, like that's a facial proportion for you. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Can't wait to see how your portraits are turning out. I'll do the shading video next.